Julio, congratulations with the Black Demon.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm responsible for all the greatness of the film. No, I'm just kidding. No, hey, I'm lucky to be in this film. Who would have thought you'd have this, this cultural element, this Latino element to it that I think is awesome, and that puts us right up there with Jaws, right, and all the big shark movies. So I'm proud of that.
Yes, I was gonna say this one, a shark movie. I never would have thought I would see a little bit of the Latin culture.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We snuck in.
It should have been done a long time ago. What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, come on, we've been fishing those waters for so long. You would have thought. I mean, when I remember watching Jaws while we were filming the film in the Dominican Republic, and I was watching it not so that I could steal anything. I just wanted to get in that mindset, right? And so as I was watching Jaws, I was like, we're all the we're all the Latinos. I mean, we sunbathed too, like it wasn't like, so it was weird watching it while we were filming our own movie because I thought, we're everywhere. How could you miss us? And so it was nice to have that element to it, especially where it takes place. It takes place there off the coast of Mexico, and but it was also nice to see Josh Lucas in it because there is this bicultural world that as it can be at odds with each other just culturally sometimes, and that's a natural order of things, but then to push them into a survival mode and deal with each other as a family, I thought that was an interesting element. I've never seen that in shark movies, so it
Mhm.
was a great twist.
You just mentioned Josh Lucas. What was it like to work with the badass white boy in the film?
Well, this badass white boy, I think he was what's the word, the first week he was kind of to his own, and I thought, wait a minute, this is Josh Lucas. He should be badass. What's going on? Why isn't he? But he was like the rest of us. We were just trying to figure out what we were doing there, and he turned out to be just the coolest dude. I think what makes him badass is just that he's just a normal guy, and he was not pretentious. He was very much about let's figure it out together, which is a great sign of an amazing actor, and when you collaborate and you work together, fun things happen. But yeah, I mean, I remember him from some of his movies, but at that point, you're not, you'd. I mean, I saw him and I thought, oh yeah, I've seen him in this and that. But then right away, you remember, wait a minute, I'm on an oil rig and we're in the heat, and then there's this, we got to dive underwater, and there's all these things we have to do that we're not focused on that. But he was very giving, and I appreciate him for just being a team player, which he was, and Fernanda was amazing. And I'll tell you who was really great in the movie are the kids. The kids are so good. Carlitos Solorzano, the little boy that plays Tommy. Oh my God, that kid. So watching the kids and the little dog, I thought, man, I gotta keep up. We all have to keep up. Josh too had to keep up. you know.
Speaking of the kids, I mean, that little boy was quite key in the film.
Yeah, Carlos. Yeah, Carlitos. Yeah, it was funny because he would just turn it on. There were moments he would just very poignant moments in the film that are very emotional moments. That kid could just turn it on. It was kind of weird. It was kind of weird because you're sitting there watching this kid, and there I was thinking I was bringing my A game, and I'm like, nah, I don't got nothing on this kid. He's so good. He's just so good. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
And what was it like working with Adrian? I mean, he's an awesome, awesome director. I mean, he
Yeah, no,
the
yeah,
best of both,
Adrian is.
both
I'm sorry,
worlds,
go ahead.
right? He
What's
he
that?
he brings in the best of both worlds. He brings in the Latin characters, like there's you, there's Raúl Mendez, Omar Chaparro, which I did not anticipate, and then bring
Yeah.
in an American actor.
Yeah, Adrián is a wonderful director because I got to work with him on the show Narcos Mexico, right? And that's the first time I worked with him, and he was a second unit director on that show, and so he was not only directing action sequences, but he was also directing narrative moments, scripted moments, very poignant moments where we're acting, we're not just doing action sequences, and he handled the script so well. That was the first time I met him and got to work with him. But on this film, no, he's great. Now the thing about him that people don't know is that he's a screamer, and so when he's screaming things left and right, and if you didn't know him you would have thought he was mad, but actually it's a complete opposite. He's so passionate, and his energy, his excitement is, he turns into a ball of energy, and it's so contagious, and it's something that you appreciate when you're on set, because there are moments where, you know, as actors, yeah, we have a big load, we have a lot to work on, but it's always great to have the captain of the ship there with you, and he's kind of calling the shots, and you're just jumping into play, and he's great, but he's a ball of energy. He's a very passionate guy, so I really enjoy working with him.
Let's talk a little about Chad though, because he's this firm believer that he's just gonna just be there till the end. Although and it doesn't really try to, he's kind of like resignado, he's just like, that's it for me.
Yeah, yeah, when you meet him the first time, yeah, it's more of that. I think, he's trapped. I mean, he and his best friend Junior are trapped on this oil rig. And then right at the beginning of the film, you realize that a lot of people are dead now. And so you kind of understand that he is resigned. And maybe he thought about taking on this shark, but it's not until the family shows up, and the family shows up unannounced. It's by accident. It's they're very fortunate that they didn't get attacked by the shark at the beginning, but still we're all in trouble now. But I think what it does for Chato, it injects a bit of humanity in him to kind of snap out of whatever resignation he was going through, because he has to actually have something to fight for now. And now it's this family. He has to be there right with them to hopefully see them through. We're not sure yet, but so it does conjure up a little bit of that in him, that he's got something to fight for, other than his dog, Torito. But yeah, so it's a great character. But also, what I like about it too is that it's a lot of unexpected things happen, and he's a big teddy bear of a guy. He's just a very intense man, and he's very, I wouldn't, he's kind of, he's a simple man, he's well intended, and he's got this belief system that kind of drives that madman aspect to it.
To finalize, is there anything you can talk about or share that you're working on or will be seeing you in?
Yeah, so I did a couple of movies last year that hopefully will be out this year. One's called A Million Miles Away. It's an Amazon film. It stars Michael Pena. I get to play his dad. You get to see me age, in 30 years. You meet me when I'm 39, and you last see me when I'm 72. It's based on the real story of an astronaut named Joe Hernandez from California. His family is originally from Mexico, and he was part of a migrant farming family that would travel from Michoacan to the Central Valley part of California. And it's a beautiful story about family, about sticking to your guns, pushing hard, working hard. And that'll be coming out later this year. And then there's another movie I did called A Cielo Abierto, which was written by Guillermo Arriaga, who wrote 21 Grams and Babel. I had worked with him on a film called The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada with Tommy Lee Jones, and he brought me back. Guillermo brought me back to be in this film with his kids. His kids are directing. It's Santiago and Mariana Arriaga. So that's a great movie. I think you guys will love that one too. And that hopefully will be out by the end of the year for sure.
Oh, great. So you still have a busy year.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you gotta, as a friend of mine, he and I both always say we're lunchbox actors. And somebody said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "Well, when you take a lunch break, you clock in, you clock out, you open your lunch pail and you pull out, the sandwiches, and you sit down, have your lunch, and then, 30 minutes go by and you got to shut the lunch pail and clock back in." So that's kind of what I do,
And open a new lunchbox.
And open, yeah, exactly. Open a new lunchbox, instead of those brown paper bags I used to have as a kid.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Everybody watch The Black Demon, please. Can you can see my hat? And by the way, this is a shirt I wore in the film, by the way.
I remember, and you took it off in memory of your friend.
Okay, you're giving away too much now.
I didn't say what friend.
Yeah,
It could
that's
be
true.
the
That's true.
shark.
Yeah, it's true.
Speak
It's
of
true.
friends.
Exactly. Well, everybody go see the film. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.